Good evening and welcome to the November 17th, 2025 Joint School District 171 Board of Trustees meeting. Carmen, could we have a roll call, please?
Yes, trustee St. Germain.
Here.
Trustee Kepke.
Here.
Trustee McIntosh.
Here.
Trustee Craig.
Here.
Trustee Daniels.
At this time, Jim, you want to kick off the honor guard? I assume we stand. Do we stand now or when you do the flag?
Attention! Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Order, arms.
Thank you. We may be seated.
Take seats.
At this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. Thank you. At this time, I would accept any public comment. Carmen, do we have any public comment?
No, I have not received any requests.
Thank you. Thank you. I just blew right over that. Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the October 20th, 2025 meeting minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the October 20th, 2025 regular meeting minutes.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Now we can accept public comment, of which we have none. Principal Hill?
Good afternoon. My name is Jim Hill. I'm the principal at the Idaho Challenge Academy. It's my honor to recognize some of our cadets today. Idaho Challenge Academy is a unique academy because we're providing 3 pathways for academics. They include credit recovery, to return to school, the GED, and the ability to receive a high school diploma. Would all the cadets working toward their GEDs please stand up? Would all the cadets planning to earn a high school diploma from Joint School District 171 please stand up? These cadets have been working diligently in the mornings and during the study times outside of their required classes to reach their academic goals. For all their hard work, squadron, give them a hand. You can take seats. The following cadets will now introduce themselves and request for early graduation approvals from the school board of Joint School District 171.
Good evening. I'm Senior Airman Bautista, and I'm from Caldwell, Idaho. My immediate plans after the IDYCA is to move back in with my parents, get a job, and finish those core classes I've been taking at Elevate Academy. My career goal is to become a CNA, which is a certified nursing assistant. Why I'm interested in that career is because they're highly looked up on and they're always needed. I respectfully request approval for early graduation. Thank you.
We were just talking about that. We thought the format had changed and we don't ask questions. Yeah. Yeah. No, more power to you. I mean, CNAs, as you said, are needed everywhere and you'll have the opportunity to travel wherever you want to get a job.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Cadet Senior Airman Ford. I'm from Caldwell, Idaho, and my immediate plans when I go back home is to move back in with my parents and then go back to my previous job, which was at Subway. And then after I turn 18, which is in April, I will apply to be a corrections officer. My long-term job, what I want to be is a pilot because I want to travel the world, and I've always been fascinated with like aircrafts and things like that since I was young. Um, I respectfully request approval for early graduation. Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Cadet Airman First Class Richie. I'm from Sandpoint, Idaho, and my immediate plan is to move back in with my parents for 6 months and maintain my job at Schweitzer. And that will lead me to my long-term goal, which is going into the Air Force and working in CSI. And that is it. I respectfully request approval for early graduation. Thank you for your time.
Good afternoon. I am Senior Airman Cadet Williams. I'm from Meridian, Idaho, and my immediate plans after the academy is to stay home for 2 years, get a job, build my savings account, and my career, the career that I'm going for is medic in the National Guard, and I'm interested in that career because I want to help people, save lives, and serve my country. I respectfully request approval for early graduation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. I am Cadet Senior Airman Day. I am from Idaho Falls, Idaho, and my immediate plans for after is to stay at my parents for the meantime while I sign up for Centennial Job Corps in Nampa, Idaho, for the cybersecurity course. My long-term career goals is to become a penetration tester in cybersecurity, as the career is being widely requested, and I already have prior certificates in the field. I respectfully request approval for early graduation. Thank you.
Thank you. Cybersecurity.
Good afternoon, Joint School District. My name is Senior Airman Garcia P. I'm from Jerome, Idaho. My immediate plans after IDYCA is to go back home, get a job, and maybe get a chance to go to Idaho University. My career goals is to either become an lineman or an astronomer. I'm interested in Pacific Disc careers or because I don't want to just be a first one just doing normal blue collars, like all of my family, construction, cars, and all those things. I want to be something big. I respectfully request approval from early graduation. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Cadet Senior Airman Garcia N. I'm from Caldwell, Idaho. My plan after I get out of here is to live with my parents for a little bit, keep on working, and get physically fit so I can become an Army Ranger. It's my career goal. Yeah, that's all I got. I respectfully request approval for early graduation. Thank you.
So my son spent some time with the Rangers, and I applaud your desire to become an Army Ranger.
Thank
Your
you.
voice certainly commands attention, so
Yes, ma'am.
use it.
Thank you. I
effectively.
appreciate it.
Hello, I am a Cadet Senior Airman Green. I am from Idaho Falls, Idaho. My immediate plans is to move back in with my parent and work with a bail bonds company to save up enough money to go to college. I plan on working at the INL for electrical engineering, and if that does not work out, I will continue bail bonds as a fugitive recovery agent. The reason why I'm interested in electrical engineering is I've been messing around with computers for the last 4 or 5 years, building them for friends and whatnot. And for fugitive recovery, it's just been, interest, tracking down people. And this. I respectfully request permission or approval for early graduation. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Cadet A1C Hagan. I'm from Post Falls, Idaho. My immediate plans for when I graduate here is to move in with my dad and get a job and save up for a car. My career goals are to go get my certification for collision repair. I am interested in collision repair because collision repair workers are needed every day because there's a lot of accidents. I respectfully request approval for early graduation. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Cadet Hein. I'm from Boise, Idaho. My immediate plans after the academy is to go home and do construction, go into construction. My career goals after that, I'm gonna try to become a cement masonry. Um, the specific career is becoming cement masonry after I go job corps in Oregon. I respectfully request approval for early graduation. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Cadet Airman Lucas. I'm from Athol, Idaho. My immediate plans after this is to join National Guard part-time and then do roofing as a full-time career. My career goals, though, is to become an Army Ranger in active duty. I am respectfully requesting for approval for early graduation. Thank you.
Thank you for your desire of service.
Good evening, board. I am Cadet Senior Airman Meckelhoff. My hometown is Boise, Idaho. and my immediate plans are moving with my family and part-time job. My career goals is joining the National Guard, MOS Q12, and my specific career goals is being a lineman, power line provider. I respectfully request approval for early graduation. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Cadet A1C White. I am from Meridian in Boise, Idaho, and my immediate plans are to live with my parents for a couple of years, and to get a job locally. And my future career goals is to be a Navy corpsman, which has always been a dream of mine because I love helping and I love the medical field, which I thought was a great opportunity for me. And I respectfully request approval for early graduation. Thank you.
Thank you, and thanks for your desire for service.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello, I'm Senior Airman Elclip. I'm from Nampa, Idaho. I'll be living with my mother when I graduate from here. I'll be working for my brother and going back to work with my father, doing step up flooring, Bathman of Idaho, and I'll be growing my landscaping company into a successful business. My career goal for when I graduate here will be a successful business owner. I respectfully request approval for early graduation. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, Mike and Joan Mount are very interested in retiring and selling their business here in Clearwater County if you like it here.
That would be an awesome opportunity for me. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good evening. I am Cadet A1C Bader. I am from Meridian, Idaho. My immediate plans after the academy is going back to live with my mom and go to CWI for diesel mechanic and welding. I'm gonna go to Knife River as a diesel mechanic, and so I can work with my stepbrother, my old stepbrother, and be able to work on big equipment that I've always wanted to. I respectfully request the approval for early graduation. Thank you.
Gotta ask, what happened?
Caught a tire with my arm.
Ouch. Caught a tire, a rolling tire? Blind. Oh. Hmm. I'm glad you won.
And I'm still standing,
That's right.
so I won.
Yes. Yeah. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Cadet Dave. I am from Athol, Idaho. My immediate plans for when I get out of IDYCA is to get a local job in my hometown. My career goals are to join the Marines. I plan on going the trade route, hopefully something in welding. I'm interested in this career because the brotherhood that comes with it, you know, military comes with good benefits. It's always nice. Yeah, I respectfully request for your approval for my early graduation. Thank you.
Thank you for your desire for service.
No
Good
problem.
luck.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Senior Airman Buchanan. Where I'm from Boise, Idaho. My immediate plan is to graduate IDYCA, live with my aunt for a couple of years, then sign up for a 91E Allied Trade Specialist in the National Guard. My career goal is to become a welder. Why I'm interested in it is because I do it for fun and I'm good at it. And it's also a really good hobby. I respectfully request approval for your early graduation. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Senior Airman Cardota. I'm from Aberdeen, Idaho. My immediate plans post academy is to get a job and get my license. My career goals is to become a welder. I'm interested in welding because my brother is in welding and I'm interested in creating a company with them. I respectfully request approval for early graduation. Thank you.
Excellent. I happen to know your town is getting fiber optics, so you'll be able to do online schooling soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Easily.
Hello, my name is Cadet Senior Airman Gregorio Davis. I live in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and my immediate plans after I graduate from the Idaho ICA is to get a job back in my hometown. My long-term career is going to be architecture because I love hands-on work. And I respectfully request approval for early graduation. Thank you.
Thank you. We were just in Coeur d'Alene and the growth is unbelievable. It's happening downtown with the big, tall skyscrapers. I would imagine there's lots of opportunity for you to get work.
Thank you.
Good evening. I am Cadet SAR or Cadet Senior Airman Fisher. I am going to be living at my parents' house after I get out of here. My career goals is I'm going to try to join the Air Force in EOD. Their MOS is 3E8X1. This is going to hopefully pay for my college as I want to go into diesel mechanics afterwards. I respectfully request permission for early graduation. Thank you.
I completely appreciate your desire to be an EOD, but as a mother of one, enjoy the ride.
Thank you.
Be careful.
I will.
Good evening. I am Cadet Airman Hensley. I'm from Genesee, Idaho. And my immediate plans for when I finish the academy are to go live with my grandma and call my old boss who owns a ranch. I used to work for him before I got here. My career goal is to be an Army M1 armor crewman. And I'm really interested in this career because Army kind of finally gives you a strong sense of family to belong to and really sets you up financially for your future. I respectfully request approval for an early graduation. Thank you.
Thank you for your desire for service.
Good afternoon. My name is Sigali, Senior Airman. I'm from Middleton, Idaho. My immediate plan after I do YCA is to live with my parents for a couple months, continue to grow my investment portfolio. I want to be a stockbroker, work on Wall Street. I'm interested in this career because since I was young, I was into stocks and my mom taught me a lot about them. I respectfully request approval for early graduation.
Excellent. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good evening. My name is Cadet Airman Vaught. I'm from Nampa, Idaho. My plan is to move back in with my dad and apply to work at Dave's Hot Chicken. I plan to be a welder. I'm interested in welding because I've had a lot of experience. I've been doing this since 8th grade. I respectfully request approval for early graduation. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Borgelt has spent a lot of time with the cadets working on their overall project, future readiness project. And then they presented before him, and then they presented before the director and I, and this is a culmination of all that work for them. They're also working on commencement speeches. And so Mr. Borgelt, I believe, needs a hand for all his efforts for you cadets. So give Mr. Borgelt a round of applause. Upon earning the remaining credits, meeting the Idaho Department of Education and JSD 171 graduation requirements, I respectfully request the school board to vote in favor of these early graduation requests. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you all. Not yet. Yeah. What's the connections? Here we are.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We were gonna make you wait until after you had dinner, but we thought that would be mean. So, it's my pleasure as chair, honestly, to be here and not only for the graduates and those of you who are going with a GED option, but really congratulations to those of you who are going home and back into your classrooms with the things that you've learned here. And I hope that you just blow them out of the water at how well you do, right? I have a lot of confidence in that. At this time, I'll accept a motion to approve the early graduation request by the IDYCA cadets as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the IDYCA early graduation requests as presented.
I'll second.
Any further discussion or comments for these graduates?
No,
Good
great job.
and good luck.
Good job.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Did we hear Brian?
I did. Mhm.
Okay.
I said aye.
Mhm. Yep. All right. We approve.
Round of applause. Go, on feet. Here. Make quick. Go. 3, 2, 1. Done. Left base. 3, 4, 5.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Reports and recognitions. Sorry, reports and recognitions. I apologize, but the links weren't live for me last night, so has anybody been able to take a look today? Okay, well, it looks like Sarah Alexander. New books, awesome. Bucks for Books grant. Oh, the OES Title I team has revitalized the mileage club program. So is there going to be a competition? Is Denise on? I know in the past there have been competition between businesses, or is it in-house only?
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
It is just in-house right now, but we're getting a lot of participation from students, and so the team is always looking to expand it.
Excellent, excellent. Clarissa Beauregard is taking on the lead of our Tier 3 intervention team. That can't be easy. So we certainly appreciate that at Orofino Junior Senior High School. Thank you, Clarissa. Oh, the science teacher, Mr. Barron. I wondered how he was doing. Excellent, excellent. Ms. Miles has a shout out here for doing an excellent job. And Teresa Root, yes, I knew she would be a natural for the position. Talk about a bubble of positive energy. It's wonderful. And then we just saw great things here. Do you have any special shout outs that you want us to?
My report, I highlighted our veterans because we had Veterans Day appreciation celebrations in our schools. We employ veterans in each of our buildings. And there are quite a few here at IDYCA staff also. So shout out to all of our veterans. And then I just put all the recent Thrive and Shine recipients in there. You should see those as they come out, but you know, there's an image of all of those that have been recognized this year. So.
Okay, hearing nothing else, any questions from committee reports from the board or program reports?
Look good to me.
I was proud to, I sent a picture of a cool 15-passenger van at Coeur d'Alene in the parking lot, and we have one too. So that's very cool. I was very excited about that. We will.
It's outside. You can look
Oh,
at
it's
it.
outside.
Yeah, I brought it so you can look at it.
Oh, right on. Very cool. Stephanie, anything else we need to, other than we continue to need bus drivers? Okay.
You'll see one of the new hires.
I know I did. I was excited about that. Yeah, Cody, I did read your report. And gosh, we heard a big old gloom and doom message. No, the association. Yeah, funding gloom and doom.
Looks like everybody was really busy.
Yeah.
Maintenance and Russell with IT. Seems like it was a busy month for everybody. Lots of stuff happening.
How will are we gonna weather cover those sawmill? pieces of equipment in the winter? We have a,
I don't know what they're,
Hard to
you know, I
cover
don't know
that.
how they're storing those.
okay, no. Okay. Anything else from the group? Okay, you want to review your superintendent report?
Yeah, thank you. I just have a couple things to highlight. First of all, is accreditation progress. You'll probably see that in each month, just because it's such a large undertaking. The principals all completed a self-evaluation of the first key disposition, which is culture of learning in their building. And then we have to go through all 4 of those for the self-assessment part of it, and then compile those as a district self-assessment. So I put a sample in there under letter B. There's a link, culture of learning self-assessment, and that's kind of a synopsis of the building self-assessments. And then so if you look in that link, it'll give you, there are 6 standards in the first key disposition. And then so we have district averages and an overall average for all of those based on the principal's self-assessment. And then below that, a summary of our culture of learning. And there's some pretty good details in these that are probably informative for the board. So I'd encourage you to take a look at that when you have some time. And it'll also give you a little bit of deeper understanding of how the self-assessment process will go. So as I mentioned, 4 key dispositions, multiple standards under each, and that's just one part of the process for our accreditation.
Question, is this our data?
This is
This,
this is an average of the principals' self-assessment results. So they assess their buildings. This is a district average of those self-assessments.
From the principals.
From the principals. The rubric is a 1 through 4 rubric, and I was going to include kind of a brief description, but it's too specific to each standard to really do that. But basically, you know, like in a Danielson evaluation or something like that, 1 is something needs changed, and 4 is, you know, excellent. But that's very general. It's much more complex, and each standard has quite a bit of language for each of their ratings. So I didn't include that because it was so lengthy, but a 3.13 district average on a self-assessment for culture of learning is strong, very strong.
Okay.
And again, it's just self-assessment, but I wanted to kind of keep that in front of you and give you a resource to refer back to. Any questions on that?
so the use of that feeds into the overall accreditation, and then they're also, of course, evaluating us. And then at the end, there will be recommendations for process improvement.
Yes. So the main thing is we go through this work of doing a comprehensive self-assessment. This is just a little piece of it. And then we have to provide the evidence to support our findings. And so then we also have to do a really thorough data analysis, as well as the Elliott observation analysis. Talked about in the past, where our principals, myself, Cody, are doing teacher observations of instruction. It's really about the culture of learning in the classroom. So they take all of that, and then when they come, their job really is to evaluate our self-assessment as well as our supporting documents and try to find evidence that we're where we said we are. That's the most efficient way for them to use their time. They'll interview board members, pretty much all stakeholders, not each and every stakeholder, but all groups of stakeholders, from students, staff, parents, board members, administrators, et cetera. And so they take the self-assessment, all the documents that we have to submit, then they do those interviews, and then yes, they come up with a final analysis, which leads to accreditation. And they'll usually give you some powerful practices, some things that are going well that you started working on, and then some areas to focus priority on. So. Anything else on that part?
Nope, I did have a question on the feedback form.
So the next part there was a certified staff PD that we had last Friday. And that was, I got a grant from the state to provide PD. We've had, you know, the classroom environment, culture of learning is just a hot topic. It applies to all teachers. So I knew that topic would probably resonate with the state. They'd been talking about funding, things like that. So anyway, we received the grant. I was able to, we saw on Dr. Joelle Hood is her name. I almost said Lasso. At the administrator conference, and I was impressed with her presentation. So we hired her to come and do a PD for our staff.
Looks
And
like
so-
they were too.
Yeah, it was fun, and she did a really good job. Overall, as you can see in the feedback, we had pretty good, positive feedback. Food, child nutrition did a taco bar for our staff. That was also appreciated. Carmen's crew did a good job with that. Anyway, you can see the feedback there, and it went well. What was your question, Chris?
Is the feedback form real data? Or is it just a form? The link on F.
It's their data. It's the data from the form they completed.
Oh, okay. So this feeds the summary?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. It was just so
That's
fuzzy.
all
I
it is.
couldn't read it. So I haven't went out and washed my glasses. So I didn't know if it was me or the scan.
Yeah, that's how I received it from her. So it's a little hard to get.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was just like,
You can get the gist of it from the graphic.
well, if the graph and the summary is, okay,
That's all I have.
cool. On the enrollment piece, it was a question that came up in my mind. It always boggles my mind of how we ebb and flow. So in September, it was, did I make a note? What did I make a note? Is it in the email?
District was 9/31, October 9/24, 9/29, November.
Yeah, I was comparing September and November. And so it looks like we've lost a handful.
2, it looks like.
43 to 37.
District totals 9/31.
Oh,
And now 9/29.
On high school, that's when.
So just a couple.
Yeah. Mhm.
But what's where it says change from November 14th down 36? What's that one?
Which month are you looking at?
At November? So like down below the.
From
comments.
2024.
Oh, 2024.
Yeah, a year
Okay.
ago. Mhm.
Okay, so
Yeah.
down 36 in a year.
So the district total, I was thinking about this in relationship to a thought that I had at the school board conference. And the size of schools and how they lump them, but that allowing spouses to work is really 400 is the break point. So it doesn't matter to us because we're over 400, but less than 1,200.
You talking about policy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian, any questions?
No, I think the data looks really good, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I was happy about it too.
Our attendance, you can see if you look on the summary tab, our attendance percentages are better than they have been. Overall, almost 93. Room for improvement, but not bad. Any other questions on mine?
That's great.
Thank you.
I had forgotten the summary tab was attendance.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Emma maintains that for us.
Mhm.
And what kind of goal are we shooting for on attendance? Is it 90?
You know, we really would like 95, but we haven't been there in a long time. Anything above 93 would be good for us.
Well, we were in September.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was kind of curious. I mean, when you think about the support unit calculation and the first part of the school, that ended in mid-November, didn't it? That count.
Yeah. First
Yeah,
week.
the first grab. Mhm. Yeah. So So good on us, community-wise, for keeping the kids in school during that period. Okay.
No surplus, there's no surplus there.
Yeah, I saw it. They were all small items, so, so moving into discussion. Anybody have any questions on the surplus?
That's all, it's already approved. There's nothing new.
Oh, okay, thank you. So policy.
Everybody ready?
Uh-huh.
The link
Ready.
in 19B is the filter view for November 2nd read. I did not give you a first read. We'll do that next month. We went through these quickly last month, one by one. You want me to go through them again? Or are there questions? Ready to move ahead on them?
Gotta get to him.
You're already looking for the filter view.
Yes, I struggled with this thing immensely.
You're okay doing it that way too.
Yeah, so this is,
I scroll down. Yeah, I'm
so
starting here.
1500 P.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jason, were there any of these policies that you felt needed special attention to them?
Everything that we've, no, I mean, they all do, but nothing that we need to, that I feel that we need to discuss further. We have, we had a discussion on it last time. They're all things that we need to implement. Some of them have options. We discussed which options we need. I'm confident with that.
And the ones that were optional that we were debating about adopting or not adopting, what was your recommendation for
My
those ones?
recommendation is to adopt them all as we've presented. Yeah, there's nothing in any of them that are going to cause us any grief, and they'll protect us and give us some guidance.
So while we're on 1500, let's see. In the last sentence of our, I assume it will get fixed, but just in the last sentence of our,
Our existing one.
yeah, of our existing one, which will get changed, in the consent agenda section, says tall instead of all. So I just wanted to bring your attention to that, because that will be a sentence that carries on.
Right.
So, and I sent that to you, so I didn't see any issues with adding the ISBA suggestions.
I didn't either. It's still aligned with new legislation.
Yeah, and I was gonna send Jim the link, but I figured we'll get this updated. It'll be in the policy. I can send it to him. Do you feel a need? Do you team feel a need to go through and make a motion for each one? Or are you comfortable with the bulk at the end?
I'm comfortable with the bulk. I think we discussed them pretty in enough detail last time that questions were answered then.
I agree. I got through all of these this go round. Even though there was a lot of them, but I think our last meeting, we got most of that stuff out in the open, what we were thinking and talking about.
Yeah, I had some questions, and those have been answered. 2320 is just really uncomfortable for me. I sort of find fifth grade and the level of information.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that.
Age appropriate.
It's not age appropriate for us in our community, so we don't do that in fifth grade. So just the fact that the law says in fifth grade through 12th grade, you have to, if you provide instruction on these things, you have to meet these criteria. It doesn't mean that we do, and we don't.
Thank you for that, because I was like, this is not right for fifth grade.
Yeah, no,
Thank you.
it might be somewhere, but it's not, generally not in our community.
Yeah. Um, so that was my biggest concern, but I recognize that they're required policies in alignment with legislators who have all of a sudden become educators. I thought the tiering, the direct tiering to Idaho code in 3525 was a good move. Removing potential liabilities or questions. We had in 4600 already, background checks were at volunteer expenses, so I didn't see any changes in that. So. Any specifics anybody wants to go over? And we have tabled 2435 and the form 2435.
Does it say tabled?
Yes.
Yeah. I only asked that because I'm looking at a filter view. And so if you're looking at a filter view.
Yeah,
you don't
it
see
has a second read there, but we had identified it as to table then.
I don't see that one on the filtered view. Yeah. It's not on the list for second read on the filtered view.
That's what happens. If you're not in the filter view, you see other cells that these are, we're not looking at these right now.
I clicked the link. So,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, you're not in there right now. See what it would look like. See how it shows this filter view that I'm in that I would have to close. That's sure you're not in the, you're just looking at the whole document.
I'm not seeing it on my view.
Yeah, it's my continued ineptness at figuring out this filter. It totally. So.
It's not the easiest document to review.
So where am I missing out?
You can click, wherever, click on that link. And then those disappear in the extras.
That would have made it seem not so onerous last night. I read all the open enrollment stuff, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Well, some of that's still there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So just remove the things that were tabled. Well, if there are no further questions. I think we can entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the policy second reads as presented.
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
We clarify November.
Yes.
I think, yeah, I agree. Can you modify that
You
motion
need
and
to-
put in
yeah, I will
11/17/2025? Yeah.
So I'll amend the motion to include that we approve the second reads for November 2025.
I'll second the amendment.
Any further discussion? All those in
Nope.
favor? Oh,
Aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. Thank you. Thank you for that hard work. I knew it was hard work. Okay, moving on. Jason.
Carmen. could probably
Okay,
talk
Carmen?
A little bit about this, yeah.
Can
She gave
you-
us a packet. Did everybody have that or just me, Carmen?
All of you do.
The first thing is just a piece of
Invitation.
an invitation from IDYCA, but then the rest is the official levy results.
So I don't know about you guys, but man, I dug into the data and there's gobs of detail in the data that you can get from the election, Idaho votes. It's really telling.
That website is very interesting. Yeah, lots of information on it.
Yeah, it was really telling about helping potentially build a story or a strategy for communicating to the future.
So the first thing on this on letter C is the levy resolution. The board has to officially approve this levy. And these are in this packet, these are the official results that Carmen provided you. We have to take that action. Then we have a discussion just on the levy
Oh, I
results
see.
in
We
general.
don't discuss it up front. Okay. So from a resolution standpoint, is there something written or is it just a motion?
It's just a motion.
Okay.
We just have to have it in the minutes that the school board officially approved the
Accepts?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So can we get a motion formally accepting the November 2025 levy results?
Except for 2025 levy.
Results?
Yeah,
I think that would,
I'll make a motion to approve the 2025 levy results.
I'll second.
Further discussion?
It was an uncomfortable levy.
Yes, it was. We had our discussion first and second. Yeah. All right. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Is
Aye.
that an, oh, thank you. Aye, motion carries. Thank you. So now we have room for discussion, levy campaign and results discussion.
As you know, we've been able to do the same thing that we did this time successfully for, many years. I think the results of this levy indicate that, we probably cannot continue to do the same thing successfully. And so I think that's what's worth discussing, what we can do, what we should do, lessons learned from this one. We had a discussion and had some key takeaways. Some kind of essential questions to start with is, were the voters informed adequately? And, so we could discuss that and see what you think. We had comments that some were, some weren't. We intentionally chose to do it the way we did, which was, to send out that brochure, went to staff and parents frequently, and then social media mostly. The ballot was in the newspaper. And then we're really, really restricted on campaigning. School staff are. So anyway, we could have done some other things to inform the voters. That some had asked for a hard copy brochures to be around the communities. That could easily be done. That brochure that I created could have been, and it could have been published in the newspaper because it was a neutral, fact-based document that might reach some, and then we could discuss more face to face. I met with Rotary and provided that brochure, but it wasn't much of a discussion, just provided the information. And then I think a couple of other key questions are, did our staff vote and did our parents vote? And who are our supporters? So as we move forward into the next election cycle, if we end up going after another supplemental levy, we're going to need to be intentional in knowing those things, I think.
It's interesting looking at the results. It would be nice to know, like the Grangemont, 17 in favor, 54 opposed. It'd be not nice to know why. I mean, is it retired people? Is it people that weren't informed as the levy? You know, they think it's going to raise their taxes. What's, you know,
I don't think
know
it
that you
was
can
clear to
gather that.
people. I don't think it was clear to people, at least some of the feedback that I've seen, either heard directly from people or seen comments on Facebook or whatever, is it wasn't clear that this isn't a change. It's that they thought it was in addition, people either moved to the area and don't understand or whatever the reason is, but thinking that this is above and beyond what their property taxes already are. So maybe if we can make it clear, like this is no change. I don't know how to make it clearer, but like no change. And maybe, I know we had talked about, trying to capture what the money's used for, but maybe if the levy is not approved, what won't happen? If this levy is not approved, these things won't be able to happen. I think would make it, I think capturing it was spent on X thing is hard. We talked about how difficult that would be, but maybe instead just saying in general, like these are the things that are at jeopardy if this doesn't get approved. Sports, staff positions having to be cut by X% or whatever, right? Like just being able to try to capture in large without this might make it more tangible for people to understand what they're paying for.
I think the brochure did say it's not an additional one, but maybe
I don't think it was
it needs to be clearer.
They
that-
hear supplemental and they
Yeah,
think it's more than
an
a
additional. Yeah.
Or the brochure didn't reach them, you know, the ones we're hearing from.
Yeah.
Maybe they never saw it.
That's what I think. When I look at where the no's are, and when I think about the demographics shift over the last couple of years and the people that have moved here, I really have to wonder whether it was a majority of folks that are new to the community, don't understand,
Are retired.
you know,
on a fixed
yeah, they're
income.
not,
Yeah.
well,
I mean,
I-
you know,
I
I
think-
look at like Dent headquarters, 11 in favor, 22 against. Well,
yeah, and you drive out to Dent and you look at how many new people and
and
new,
headquarters has.
they're
people
not,
moving in from out of the county.
yeah, I don't know
So-
that they're suffering economically, the people that are
Yeah.
moving and building the homes.
But rather they
I
vote
think
yes
there's
on
no
levies.
commitment.
Yeah.
I think there's no commitment to
Yes.
local education because there's no direct, they're not engaged, they're not, that's not the right word.
Yeah.
They might not have kids or grandkids in the
Right.
system.
E-
and They may have
exactly.
raised theirs elsewhere. There's a lot of reasons there. Also, you know, this is the first time we've run one in November. And it looks like our nay votes drove in to vote, quite a few of them, or had to mail in. So that's telling, I think.
Mhm.
We chose that date, so that if it wasn't successful, we could run again in May. But as you know, the legislature has taken away dates for levy elections to make it more, difficult to pass them essentially. Another factor that's probably not well known, I sent the information out, but it was quite a while ago, but it's our property tax relief in relation to the levy. So if you looked at your property tax statement, I looked at mine when I got it last week, and there's an asterisk on the top that shows you the reduction in the school levy tax that you as a taxpayer have to pay. So mine, I think, was like $178 of my JSD 171 tax was paid for by the state. So the state supplemented they offset our reduced the burden on the property taxpayers by about $1 million on our supplemental levy this last time. It's illegal to put that on the ballot to say that you're going to approve 2.7, but it's actually going to be 1.7 or whatever. But you can put the information out, explain it. And so I think now is a good time. I really debated whether to do it right before the election, but I was afraid of causing more confusion and possibly mistrust. So I'm going to send that out again, try to explain how the state has reduced the burden to taxpayers on in communities where there are supplemental levies. anyways. So ours was substantial, so that's a.
Well,
and
and
the
the
way
other
that-
thing that I heard the Secretary of the State say at the conference was it, we might have better voter turnout in May because most of our elections are determined by the primary. And so people don't have to turn out to vote in November. And so we may see a larger voter turnout in May, which I think really rings true for Clearwater County. I think most elections are determined in May. And so people don't then turn out in November.
Well, I wondered, how did we compare in voter turnout compared to the last levy election?
I don't know.
Mhm.
Top of my head.
Yeah. I'd
That
have
would
to look
be,
and see
we'd have
that.
to, we should discuss that one as it gets, as the time gets nearer to. That could be a good thing or a bad thing.
Mhm.
Depends on who turns out.
Yeah.
I think if our supporters were apathetic, and we intentionally chose a pretty, basic campaign, because that's what's worked for us in the past. And if our supporters were apathetic, hopefully they won't be next time. Same thing with our campaign. It'll have to be more intentional because it's obviously not a guarantee.
Yeah, I think there is an opportunity to craft a narrative around, property owners, you just got your, you just got to, thank those that came out, the fact that we passed. You could craft the narrative around, we encourage you to take a look at your, and this is how it was property tax relief, whatever, brings benefit to, taxpayers, there's that kind of narrative. And I would, are you doing doing radio too?
I haven't.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure out how to get to those folks.
Radio might be a good one for,
Certain segments. Yeah. It might be worthwhile to do an aggressive canvassing and publicly thank those that voted for us. I mean, we certainly appreciate that, right? And to help inform those that voted again.
all I can really do along those lines, we're really heavily, especially me, am heavily restricted on thanking for support. I can't even really thank for support in voting. I can thank everybody for voting, whether it was yes or no. It's amazing how regulated we are. It's very, very strict. That was another, concern we heard from patrons was how come we're not campaigning? We could have a group of supporters campaign, but it cannot be, there can have no public funds associated with it really in any way, whether it's organizing it, funding it in any way. So, and the general public doesn't always understand that. I've learned more about it this time. Honestly.
So, maybe we need a committee. Yeah.
I think that might be a good.
Probably start early.
Yeah,
So we can initiate a committee, we just can't be part
I
of
think
it
so.
ourselves.
Yeah. And I think the school board has more because we're not using taxpayer funds for school board, work, you have more flexibility and things like that. Employees, they're getting paid taxpayer dollars, pretty heavily restricted. So basically we can just provide factual information.
I think to Tara's point though, if you point out what goes away, is that possible or?
Kind of. I mean, all of those amounts on our supplemental levy are small portions of what we spend in each of those categories. So we would have to be very, like, if we said something, if we wanted to isolate some things, we'd have to follow through with it.
Call to Tara,
And
I was just looking at.
The reality is we may or may not want to follow through with it. We might want to use a fund balance for a year or two to try to pass another one, or, so we would want to be very intentional about the messaging and if that's what we really wanted to do. And if we did, then, we would have to follow through.
I think as long as we say these things could potentially be in jeopardy.
Yeah, potential.
I think people need something tangible to know what they could lose if they don't approve it. And because I would venture to say there's probably some parents that voted against it because they felt like they couldn't afford it. And so if they weigh that, okay, wait, understand first, my property taxes aren't going up. And second, wait a minute, this is what my school, my kids, the community could lose. I think that gives them something tangible to understand and not back us into a corner, but just say, these are things that could potentially be evaluated for cutting. Should it not be approved.
Yep.
And I don't know if you could reach out to other superintendents and see what they've done and if they've done anything like that or not.
Yeah.
There was a gentleman at the conference that I met, and they were at a game. I don't know what game. But they
A
were,
basketball game, I think, or baseball.
was it
or
a
something.
basketball?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he had 3 people in the car, and they realized that the polls were closing and their district won by 4 votes.
Oh, geez.
He had the 4 winning votes in his vehicle. Had they not made it to the polling place in time.
In his
Yeah.
car. Yeah,
Yeah.
they made it in
Oh.
time, So we certainly are not alone. And I heard from several that did not pass.
Yeah.
So times have changed
Yeah.
and the sentiment has
Yeah.
changed around public education, which is bothersome to me.
And I think more than that, what I also heard, the Secretary of State was saying was it's more of a general representation of our economy, and that more so than I'm against public education, it's more people and not being able to afford things. And so that education piece might have a bigger impact than we realize, just because it's not people voting against public education. It's people looking at their bottom line, and it's not going as far as money's not going as far as it used to. So.
And then I saw one comment said, oh, you want all this money, but then Idaho's ranked 47th in education, but are we 47th?
48th.
48. Oh,
Maybe if we share
I know
maybe
y'all are
some
expended, actually.
assessment information from where we're at.
I think they were talking about, I think they were reading that number as our performance in education. Like how
Yeah,
many-
that's funding in the state. That's state funding. That's not where we rank as an education system.
That's what I thought. And so that was a misunderstanding that could probably cause it.
Well, I'll say it. It wasn't a misunderstanding. It was mean. Some mean people out there. They're just, they need to dive a little further into their Google search.
Yeah. Okay, so what I'm hearing is let's think about forming a committee, probably a year in advance of the next election. Let's send a message of thanks for voting and more awareness of that offset. And try to figure out a way of, unfortunately, I think we're going to be having conversations of what do we do with less? How do we do with less? And so it could be compounded, a need.
And maybe we should consider putting that in the paper, just because the emails might not be reaching the right people. And so maybe we should consider putting the thank you to the voters who turned out.
Sure.
Whatever information we want to craft, but just something in the paper to try to reach a little bit wider audience.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to do an assessment, and I'm not a social media person, but where are people getting their news in Clearwater County? And
Well, one person posts
I don't
something
think
and
a
then
lot, I know a
people
lot.
share it. And it
Well,
may
it's
not
a
be true.
right. Yeah. The social media thing I think is huge. I don't know how many people we could find out what the circulation of the Clearwater Tribune is. Yeah, Marcy I'm sure she would share that information.
We can
So
use all
maybe-
those medias to make
Yeah.
sure that we just cover the available
Mhm.
messaging. And we just need to do it more thoroughly. The one we haven't used much is radio, so that would be an addition.
Mhm. Is anybody in particular interested in sort of spearheading such a committee? We could have a board member.
I think so.
Yeah. Mhm.
I will verify, but.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, let's verify that. If that's the case, I would jump on that.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll take that as a to-do. Okay. Any other discussion about the levy campaign? Okay. So, we went to board training through the Idaho School Board Association Conference. It was in Coeur d'Alene, so it wasn't a trip south, it was north. And, I was totally taken aback at the high rises that have popped up in Coeur d'Alene and that are in construction. While I make this note about the election, Taylor, do you want to share about any highlights?
I shared just in our previous discussions, a lot of takeaways that I had. All state agencies were directed for a 3% holdback and K-12 wasn't included in that, but we may not be so lucky this next legislative session that we're headed into. And even if we do get away with, we're probably not going to get any extra. So, and so I think that we just have to plan for that and consider that. And in some way it'll trickle down to us, even if we don't have a direct holdback or anything. I think that was pretty clear in almost every session, brainstorming, how are we going to do with increasing demands in special education and increasing demands on maintenance and all of these things that we have without any increase in funding. So I think that was pretty consistent theme throughout that not only are we struggling with, but every other district. And I mean, in all the small breakout groups discussions that we had, or didn't matter the topic of the session, that it boiled down to that usually. So
Yeah, I went to the legal and financial, and it really was a sort of doom and gloom message. But one of the things that I made note of is that the Title IX regulations have reverted back to the 2020 rules. So I wanted to make sure that we were aware of that. But I see a shaking head. So the suggestion is looking at a 12% reduction across the Department of Ed. And so a thought that I had, and I visited with Jason about it, is having a work session and starting to think about what does it look like? First of all, what are those programs? And I didn't look at our audit to pull those out, but what are those federally Department of Ed funded programs? And what would it look like if we had a 5% reduction, a 10% reduction, or 15% reduction? And how do we start to plan for that? Because it could be something that comes sooner rather than later.
and I think it would be good if each, administrator, each building looked, is there any areas for streamlining across buildings within their own building? And just, is there any low hanging fruit for streamlining things that would cut some costs? It's simple. That wouldn't be a huge, everything's going to be an impact, but not as big of an impact if we can get ahead of it.
Yeah, and there was another really great suggestion I thought, which was make sure your policies and procedures are in alignment. So if we have to do the unmentionable, we know that our policies and procedures are strict, are aligned, and then also, well, how does that tier to our negotiated agreement and the terms within it? There's with the governor was at our conference at a luncheon, and they seem to be pretty proud of school choice vouchers and nationally and within the state and open enrollment. And the room was pretty quiet around that, stand up and say how wonderful it is what you've done to an audience of public education was it was not a lot of rousing applaud.
In addition to the federal discussions about what cuts we might see. And for us, the largest Well, it could be, Title I would be a big one for us. And then ultimately that comes down to staffing, is where most of the budget is, which affects our students greatly. And then any reduction in special education funding were the big ones. There's some other small ones. And then they're talking about complete programs like ELL programs that wouldn't affect us very much. But then what's probably even more significant is the worries of reduction in state funding. And so, as was alluded to before we went into the federal discussion, we may see a holdback in our state funding for next year. And so that would affect us even more greatly across all of our programs. So then and of course we won't know in a timely manner. I'm sure we'll be negotiating before we know all those things. And so it was a lot of doom and gloom. And I was on a superintendent meeting today, and it's everywhere, same kind of thing. So we will likely have to figure out how to do what we do with less, in some way. So that will be the challenge in front of us. Fortunately, we have a fund balance that can sustain us, on those important things that affect our kids for a little while.
A heads up for the team. There was a young woman who was a new attorney for the State Board of Education. And she reported that there are some new young members on the board, and there is a lot of excitement around literacy efforts and literacy legislation. And they reportedly want to know what we think. And there was a bit of challenge about that, and sort of a reality, potentially disbelief was expressed. So she's kind of been put, her feet to the fire to follow through. And so I hope that we do get a message. I hope we get an outreach from the State Board of Education board to come and have a conversation with us, and then we can be ready to talk to them about what are the issues. There were a lot of issues that she questioned, that she brought up in the session that I was in, which was not at all what I thought it was going to be. And I told her straight, I don't know the answers to those. I'm not in the classroom every day. I'm not in the school every day. I said, but we have a team that's more than willing to be engaged with you. So I copied you on the exchange. So heads up there. It was definitely worthwhile.
Yeah, I got a lot out of it.
Yeah. As far as the resolutions that had been passed as a result, and what the legislature is going to see from us, is most passed. Special education funding, this Superintendent Critchfield is focused on that this year. She said there's $1 million law deficit. They're going to ask for 500,000. So it's clear that there's not going to be a lot of appetite for asking for more, but establishing what the need is very important from their perspective.
So that 500,000 will come out of the budget.
Yeah.
Basically making it dedicated funds.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be just like the 50,000 that came out, and there's fear that there's going to be more than 50 million that came out, So, yeah. Let's see. Oh, there was a quite a heated discussion on maintaining enrollment for online schools. Some districts have created their own online school environment in order to capture others. That passed by the skin of its teeth as well. And then there was,
and just to be clear, just for anybody who's listening, right? These are not things that have passed the legislators. These are things that ISBA is going to try to get a legislator to take up and present during the legislative session.
oh yes, totally.
Just so it's clear to anybody listening, these are things
that are, yep,
Yeah,
sorry, these are Idaho School Board Association resolutions that shape a message for a
Lobbying our
legislator to advocate around, to look for a vote. Yeah. This one that I was, I know that at 16, and here we are in the academy, right? At 16, you can drop out. And so there is a resolution, number 16 that came out of ISBA, that was, to amend and require the school age to be 18 because of some accountability measures that we have, as you have as educators. And that failed. So 16 it is. It's always an interesting, I always learn lots when I'm there. About way more than us. And it was in Coeur d'Alene, so it wasn't a 6-hour drive home. It was nice.
Another topic that's of concern to us that came up at the conference a few times was the fact that IDLA is under fire financially. And so the legislature is looking at the funding that supports IDLA and thinking that there's probably a cheaper way to do that. Our students benefit greatly from IDLA, and we would definitely be opposed to a reduction or elimination of IDLA or any reduction. Like you could boil that down to, I believe that would increase the divide between the haves and the have-nots. You know, our students are able to take coursework that they wouldn't be able to if we had to provide it. We wouldn't be able to afford it. But if you were just looking at a budget, which they will be, they could argue that, you know, they could shift that burden to the districts. It'll look like a tax savings if they reduce those expenditures directly to IDLA and allow choice. And which would just shift the burden to us and hurt our students because our students wouldn't be able to take the courses. So we're in support of maintaining IDLA as it is, and that'll be they're under fire for sure. So that'll be a big deal this session, I think.
Okay, anything else? All right, moving on to new hires and separations. Get a motion?
I will make a motion to accept the new hires and separations as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you. My understanding is we do have a need for executive session. Could I have a motion?
Is it A and B?
A and B, okay.
I'll make a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to Idaho Code 74-2061 A and B.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Carmen?
Trustee Saint Germain.
Yes.
Trustee Craig.
Yes.
Trustee Kepke.
Yes.
Trustee McIntosh.
Yes.
Okay. Where do we go? Brian will dial you.
Yeah, I'll call Jason or you guys can just call me, whatever works.
Jason will call you.
Okay.
Returning from executive session with no action from executive, and we'll call the meeting back to order. Are there input for future agenda items? I have two things that I'd like to do at the next meeting. Is I'd like to review our, is Brian back?
I'm here.
Okay, I just want to make sure you're part of the conversation here. One of the workshops I attended was about strategic planning to operational planning to implementation. And I took a look at our board goals and we identified some things and we have sort of put it on the shelf. So I want to bring that back to life and visit it and come up, have a conversation about how to keep it more alive. And look at how does that align with the goals that we put together for our superintendent? And I think we have an opportunity for a mid-year review conversation about that, and that'll be a good time to think about sort of what did we say we wanted to be doing and where are we now? So that's what I was thinking for conversation around the next for our December meeting.
I like it.
Anybody have anything else? Okay. Our next meeting is December, I have a calendar in front of me.
December 15th, yeah.
15th, and that is going to be at
Timberline, I thought.
Timberline. Back to back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, if there's nothing else, we can entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Drive safe.
Awesome. Thank you for participating online. All those in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
Aye. Thank you guys for staying.